Hi, Jewish moms. I'm Hannah Jenny Weisberg of JewishMom.com. It's good to be back making an Ima pep talk. It's been about a year since I made one. I want to tell you a story that yesterday I went to visit a school that we're considering for our son Yoel. He's our oldest boy. He's only 5, and he's going. It's a very exciting sort of juncture in our lives. He's going into first grade next year, Bezat Hashem. So yesterday we were meeting with the principal and the rabbi of a school that we're considering. And so after the rabbi and the principal made their presentations, then all the parents were invited to ask questions. So all the parents were asking different questions. And then one woman who was sitting next to me, she raised her hand, and she said, I wanted to ask the rabbi. And I noticed it was very funny. She had this really mischievous smile on her face. So I was wondering what she was going to ask. And she said, I was wondering how in this school, how you deal with boys who are shovavim, boys who are mischievous boys. So the rabbi got a big smile on his face, smile of recognition at this question. And he said, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, I don't know what you mean by mischievous boys. He said, do you mean boys with otzmot? Boys with strength? And he explained what he meant. He said that this is a man who's worked in education for decades. And he said, what I've seen consistently, and this isn't the first time I'm hearing this from a school principal, is that the kids who are the most shovavim, the kids who are the most mischievous and running around and making trouble, that those are the ones that when they grow up, that they're the ones with the most strength to give back to the community, to the Jewish people, to the world, that they grow up to be like really, really proactive and energetic and full of projects, energy, doing good things, grown-ups. So when I was sitting there yesterday in this meeting, this reminded me of my own son, who's a bit of a shovav, Yoel, my mischievous 5-year-old Yoel. I was reminded of something that happened this past week. So this past Sunday, then Sunday, I have to give a bit of background. Sunday is my hardest day of the week because Sunday in Israel, it's a regular work day. It's not like a vacation day. So on Sundays, my husband works the whole day. My husband's a teacher, and he teaches until very late at night, from early in the morning until late at night. And so really the problem with that, and also my older daughter, Hadass, who's 14, she's not around on Sunday night, so it means it's just me and the kids. And I don't have anyone to help me with, usually like I'm doing fine until like 6 o'clock, and then bedtime's hard. Trying to get this group of little kids to do what I want them to do when I'm sort of tired out from a whole day with them, not so easy. So I was trying to get the kids to calm down and go to bed, but they weren't really cooperating. And Yoel, my 5-year-old, was running around in circles on my bed, chasing my 7-year-old Moria and my 2-year-old Sophia. And they're just running around and running around and running around like running a marathon in circles on my bed. So I said, kids, sweet voice, quiet voice, could you get down? Let's read a story. Let's brush some teeth. Let's take a bath. But nothing was working, and they just kept on running and running and running and running. And then I just said, stop it! And just totally lost my cool. But they did stop running, and I got them to bed. The very next morning, I was sending my kids off to school, and I have a tradition, something that I learned from my teacher, Rabbanit Yemima Mizrahi. So she taught me years ago that when you're sending kids off in the morning, it's a very nice idea to give them a blessing. And she recommended using the words of the priestly blessing, which are Yevarechecha Adonai Vishmerecha, Yer Adonai Panav Elecha Vichoneka, Yisa Adonai Panav Elecha V'Yisem Lecha Shalom. I'm not going to go to the exact translation, but may Hashem basically means like may Hashem bless you and send His light on you and guard you wherever you go. So for years and years and years, I've been doing this every morning. And by the way, she also recommends, like, for every child who leaves the house, you walk out with them. You walk, like, at least 4 steps out with them to accompany them out. So for years, I thought this is a great idea. And so even though my mornings, it's not easy getting everyone out of the house, this is something that I've really, really stuck with. And my kids really like it. They really like that I give them a little blessing. And that's why I silently, like I say, like another little personal blessing for them. Something that I hope for them for that specific child. Okay? So, so the other day, the morning after my bedtime fiasco, then I was giving this blessing. I gave a blessing to my mischievous Yoel, to my 5-year-old Shovav Yoel. And I put my hands on my hands on his head, and I gave him a blessing. And then he says to me, "Ima, bend down." And he goes like this, and I'm not kidding. This is true. He puts his hands on my head, and he says, "Yevarechecha Hashem b'yishmerecha yer Adonai panav." He didn't really know the words, but he gave me a blessing, and it was incredibly moving. In fact, I felt just this warm energy enter my whole body. It was incredible, and it made me understand why my kids love getting blessed so much, because it's an incredible feeling. And it was a reminder to me at that moment. I was reminded also when I heard this principal speaking last night that, you know, here's my little boy, my Shovav, the one who causes me a lot of tsuris. He has wonderful traits and talents. He's a wonderful kid. But you know, like him, and also his brothers and his brother and sisters, you know, that they cause me, like having a household of kids is a lot of work. It's a lot of mess, and it's a lot of balagan, and it's a lot of chaos, and it's a lot of, you know, things that aren't so easy, difficult interactions. But I think that, and I want to bless you, and I want to bless me, that we should remember that the other day I read a beautiful, beautiful article. It's an article in Bina about like advice given for mothers of large families. And one of the Rebbitzins who responded, she said the Ikar, the main thing is just remembering that there is no greater blessing than this. There's no greater blessing than having another child. So I want to bless us. You know, it's so easy to forget in the middle of like all the chaos, and the kids are running around the bed, and they're making a mess, and they're doing this, and they're fighting. To take a breath and remember, there is no greater blessing than this, truly.